which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Just remain standing for a moment of silent reflection. Thank you. Roll call.
Here.
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 We do want to announce that we had an executive meeting today at 5:15 before this meeting to discuss ongoing police personnel issues in the police department on an ongoing investigation. That is continued. I need approval of minutes. Where we go? Highway. The treasurer, engineer, code office, public works, redevelopment authority, planning commission. Need a second?
Second.
Yes.
Reichner? Yes. Henry? Yes. Ister?
Yes. Any audience comment on any of the agenda items? CDBG update?
I'm here.
Jamie?
It was full when I came in, I had to sit on my back chair. Okay, have a couple things for tonight. The first thing is we received quotes for the demolition of 2 different properties to be paid for with the Keystone Community Funds that the county has granted to the city for demolition. The first one for 116
The
South
message
10th
is from
Street
Marty Self.
is a contract
Say right now,
with
call or
J-Mark
cancel.
Construction for $10,322. And the second one is for 314 South 3rd Street with Burgess Excavating for $8,000. If you would take action this evening to approve those agreements, I can have them signed and sent to the contractors.
I'll make that motion to,
Can we do them at the same time?
They're all separate projects, so you'll have to, probably should do separate.
All right. Motion for 116 South 10th Street. Need a second?
A second.
Reichner?
Yes.
Henry?
Yes.
Ister? Persing?
Yes.
Shipman?
yes.
I need a motion for 314 South 3rd Street, $3,000 purchase.
I'll make that motion.
Henry? Ister?
Yes.
Persing?
Yes.
Shipman?
Yes.
Reichner?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Second, the Oppenheim and Pleasant Grounds basketball courts resurfacing project is ready for your approval to go to bids. John is going to make a couple corrections to the bid documents as for Tyler at CEDACOG's review. And once that is done, once those corrections are made, John can send the advertisement to the paper, and we can go out to bid. But maybe if you want to take action to approve soliciting bids, when John's ready, we'll go out and solicit. And then I believe we're looking at April for opening and award.
We try to make the 13th, if I can't, do the changes that we did at the fourth.
Okay, so either the first meeting or second meeting in April, we'll do the opening and then.
Department, Jimmy, I'll make a motion.
I make a motion to, give John authorization to call for this once the, change to the contract.
Need a second?
Second.
Ister? Persing?
Yes.
Shipman?
Yes.
Reichner?
Yes.
Henry?
Okay, and then Brian, oh, go ahead, sorry.
No, go ahead. If you're not, when you're done, I'll ask you a question.
Okay, okay. Just an update on Chestnut Street. I did see they have it closed today, so I guess they're taking down trees or something. So I did see we finally got started on something on Chestnut Street. But I would ask if somebody would at the city clerk's office make contact with the transportation department at the school. We're working on funding through PennDOT for that second phase, and I've been waiting to get some information back from them, and they've had it for a week and a half or more now. Yeah, it's Brandy in the transportation department. I did email her last week, ask for an update, and I didn't get one. So if somebody from the city office would contact her, maybe you'll have a little more luck. But otherwise, we're just moving forward. Like I said, phase 1 is underway. Phase 2, we're looking at PennDOT funding. The PennDOT Multimodal Transportation Fund program just opened. They're due in July, so I think we'll wait to see if anything else pans out. If it doesn't, we'll get that in for July. We already did one last year, so it's pretty easy to just put it in again. And Betsy with our economic, what do they call it ERC, what we're gonna call it, CDCOG, whatever she does. She is working on that ARC, Local Access Road Grant. She has been in contact with DCED, and they really like the Chestnut Street project, but they want more support from the businesses, basically saying that these improvements will help them stay where they are or even grow their business. So she was going to put together some information to actually take to them in person and see if she could get some support for that. So DCD likes the project, but they need more documentation to support it. So we're doing that. So we are working on funding for phase 2. Hopefully PennDOT will participate a little more this time, and we'll be able to move forward with that.
Anybody have no businesses on that street, just give them support, that's what scares me.
I think the businesses are there. I think that our project doesn't exactly create or retain jobs. So I think it might take a little bit of flourish to get that relayed properly. And it's just not something they're used to doing, so it wouldn't be something they're real comfortable, putting out there. Probably if I had written a draft letter and sent it, they would probably be more comfortable with it. But you don't really want a model letter that everybody uses the same one, that there's no effect there. So Betsy's gonna go visit them.
She does have a letter from the Albright.
Yes, we have from the Albright and a couple others. They are waiting
Probably
on,
a cold, you know?
they're in phase 1, so I
Okay.
don't think we worry.
Did you get anything from the nursing home?
Yes, no, I don't know, I was thinking of the office. We did get that one. I don't know if we got anything from the nursing home. Betsy's been doing all of that, so. But we're moving forward, so we'll get phase 1 underway, and hopefully that will spur the funding agencies to come in and fund phase 2.
What that the bid on South 10th Street?
That was J Mark,
J. Mark.
J-Moore, M-A-R.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Did I see Megan back there?
I'm here.
Ready to press all right?
I do have a few things.
All right.
I do also have copies of the report now, community tomorrow.
Okay. Thank you.
Business Economic Development is currently requesting some funds to help support the marketing program that they've been working on with the IDA. Just wanted to make you aware of that. Promotions is investigating potential businesses to move in the city and reaching out to them based on a methodology that's developed from the PDC. In the neighborhoods, Hill Neighborhood has 2 rain barrel workshops coming up, one on March 14th and the other on March 20th. In addition, Old Town is sending out a survey looking for volunteers for specific projects. The membership committee has a new chair, which is Chris Rao, and we are 87% at our annual campaign goal for this for the membership track. So, that is our goal. Riverfront Planning is working on Wake the Lake event and a concert series over the summer, trying to figure out when those individual concerts will be held, space over the course of the summer. The Renaissance Festival is very much underway, since it's not going to be the beginning of the summer rather than the end. I believe we have confirmation on cannons, which will be, I guess, make their noise, primarily to make noise, but I don't know if it's all over
Are you doing it at midnight or?
No. Okay, all right.
The last one gets shut off 1 minute before.
Okay, we're working on some other surprises, so hopefully I'll have some more fun things to share in the next couple months as we make confirmations. River Festival's theme for this year is going to be 50 years of excellence based on the literature of the schools District 11 High School. So really celebrate that. The Albright Council has a new fundraising committee established to be chaired by Mel Purdy and Robert Rausch. Hometown Veterans banners, the new banner and rehang submissions are being received. They are due by March 27th, so towards the end of the month. If anyone is interested in participating in the banner program who hasn't before, or if you'd like to know rehang, please get that information as soon as possible. The unveiling ceremony is scheduled for May 16th. And we also have an organizational strategic planning session with the board of directors and of course,
Redevelopment Authority update. The last meeting was what, last week?
Yep.
Bree's not here, but she was getting the list together, so we should be coming up with a,
Yep, May is our next auction time, and we found that Saturdays went pretty well. People have auctions on Saturdays. If people like to buy, what day was it, 0 or 5 below 0?
it felt like a five, so there should at least,
Warmer weather on a Saturday.
we should get twice many people out in the sunshine. But we're getting that list together, so for the next meeting, or maybe the next 2 meetings after this, we'll get that list together for you, and everybody will know ahead of time. We have a list that Cheryl maintains of people that send in, so if there's anybody in the audience who wants to be on that list, just give an email address to Cheryl, and then like a week before time, a couple days before, we'll let you know on the auction, just a reminder. Because the last one we had, I guess, like Mike said, we had on Saturday, there was 20, 25 people in every one of those properties, so it was a good turnout, real nice turnout. So we're getting that together. And they also talked a little bit about some expansion on some other projects that hopefully will come up here in the near future. We'll talk about that. New business, spring cleanup. Rick?
Yeah, I was approached by Dan Raymer from SMA about the spring cleanup. The situation being is that it's no longer funded, and we didn't know that last year, and we got ended up with $6,700 bill. And we do not have any money at all to pay. And so we're gonna do some research on this. I told him I'd get him an answer tonight. But we're gonna do some research on this, and then the next meeting or meeting after that, we're gonna look at what we can do if we have money, if there's grants or anything else, we just can't do it. Because it was done, that spring cleanup was done with monies somehow or another from the trash collector or the dump or whatever, but that's no longer there. And last year we got over a $15,000 bill after the fact that was split between the city and the SMA. And I told him I would bring it up tonight, but I don't think we're going to be able to do that. At least that's my recommendation. I'd like to table it.
Oh yeah, we'll leave it on for the next meeting. When do we normally have that? That was in April, wasn't it?
I think so. Maybe we can delay it, something like that, but right now we don't have any money for it.
Yeah, we'll leave it on to discuss the next meeting. Sunoco extension, I'm sorry, anything else?
No, that's,
Sunoco extension? Mike?
Mayor, Council, Seven Multi-Solutions, who's the agent for Sunoco, has requested a 90-day extension on their land development plan with Sunoco. Reason for it is they have still not received the highway update permit from PennDOT, and we've come too far for the project to come forward. So that's a clear approval.
would you need a motion there?
Yes.
I'll make that motion.
Persing?
Yes.
Shipman?
Yes.
Reichtner?
Yes.
Henry? Ister?
Harvey?
Mike, you'll send out written notice of this extension so that we don't get any problem. You agree with that, John?
Yeah, they requested in writing by email. So it
Great.
says in writing, vote 27.
Everybody consents to it.
If Mike responds to citing the motion in writing by email, we'll let us know.
Yes, it will.
Stop, she's your own.
Anything we can do to fight fire and turn on it this year?
They're probably close.
Yeah, they're under second review now, but the first review took a few weeks, and we didn't want to get into that area where the project would become void, so we just thought they do this just to protect the entire project.
No, that's just my thing. Harvey, 21 Market Street, Mike.
Yep. Wednesday night, last Wednesday evening, the hard board met for a project of replacement windows in 821 Market Street. It was approved by the HARB. Pretty much cut and dry. There's no special features or anything to the building. So
Pretty much think that was common sense. I don't even know that we're how to do it. And we're going to, I talked to Preston Ross, and we're going to sit down and discuss things that they think we need or we don't need to take.
All right, so we'll make a motion for this.
Sure.
I need a second. 21?
Shipman,
Yes.
Reichner,
Yes.
Henry, Ister, Persing.
Yes. How about 249 Chestnut Street?
Basically, 249, the gentleman never showed. We're just following the ordinance that we have to notify the applicant and council of the tabling of the project. Did speak to the gentleman, he got our letter, and he will be at next month's meeting to go over his project.
349 Chestnut. Okay. Need a motion? Martin?
Yeah, I'll make the motion.
Reichner,
Yes.
Henry,
Yes.
Ister, Persing,
Yes.
Shipman.
Yes.
Approval of pay invoices, John.
We have $57,084.79 of general fund expenses and $5,628.86 of liquid fuel. Make a motion that we pay.
Henry, Ister, Persing,
Yes.
Shipman,
Yes.
Reichner.
Yes.
I'm told there weren't no tax exonerations, so you don't have all that stress on tonight. Audience comment. Just identify yourself.
I'm Bill Shipman, and I'm here to ask the mayor and the council for some consideration on a problem I think I'm going to endure here. First of all, is there a lot of people in here from Sunbury? Most everybody, you live in Sunbury?
I do.
Okay, just for a raise of hands, and I know this probably don't, you guys might know. Does anybody here know where Shamokin Street is?
I do.
I mean, other than you guys. You mean, you're, okay.
I know.
I understand that the 911 county is making up a new 911 map, and I spoke with Dale Henry about it a little bit, and he sent me to one of the gentlemen from the county who called me on Friday and said that they were liking to upgrade everything, put all the streets on the map that aren't there, and get everybody up and running because of safety and whatever with the city. So I asked him if Shamokin Street was on the map, and he said no. And I said, well, what happens if, say, the fire department or somebody gets called to go to Shamokin Street, where do they go? He said he didn't know. He said what shows on the 911 map at this point that is called Short Wolverton Street. Now, our city has a street sign. I bought that property in 2005, and I totally gutted it, rehabbed it. I moved in there in 2011. And when I moved in, because the property does not touch Market Street, and I have a Market Street address, I went to the post office. And the postmaster told me that just because I bought a piece of property and don't like the address, that don't mean a thing, they don't change it. Well, I said, it isn't a matter, ma'am, that I do or don't like it. My deal with you would be, this property does not touch Market Street. And I have a Market Street address. I have a business, and in the downstairs of this building, I want to put an office in it for my business office. Because I have a business at another location which is remote, and I don't do any mail or anything at that business. I'm moving from Ray Street to here, and it costs a lot of money because I made a move from Ray Street, one address to a different, Dave, which you would know that. And it costs about $100 a title to transfer titles for vehicles, and I have 25 or 30 titles alone, plus my bank account, plus every auto parts and every vendor that I deal with. I am considered 721 Market Street, and so it would cost me thousands of dollars if you change my address just to get up and running again under a new address. So I'm asking the city and you folks to give me some consideration with this address deal. I know that I am not on Market Street. I didn't want a Market Street address when I bought the building, but the postmaster told me that Linker Manufacturing was in that building for many, many years and had a 721 Market Street address, and their mail and all their product as a manufacturing company was delivered there with no problem, so what was my problem? I said, I don't want to move in this building. I just went through a couple address changes in a couple of years, and it's a lot of money. And I don't want to have to go through this again, so I'm asking, I want it changed. She said you can't do it. 911 has stuff on the map, they'll never change it. But the gentleman from the county told me that street's not even on the map.
I think the confusion there, Bill, is Short Wolverton is now with that big 4x6 across it. That's the street that went down to Chestnut or down and curved over to Chestnut.
I agree with that.
But that's blocked off.
Yeah.
Shamokin Street has always been there, it just wasn't on the map then.
Not on the map.
What is your official address right now?
721 Market Street,
It's been that way since you moved there.
since I moved
And when do you
there.
want to change it to? What does 911 want to change it to?
Something Short Street, it's on the.
Smoking.
Let me jump in there a little bit.
Okay.
When we presented this last month, we knew countywide there was gonna be some issues. Unfortunately, the postmaster is not a designated address for the county. So, the post, as I explained to Bill, the postmaster was way off base, and she said whatever she said to Bill. Number two, last year, we as a city voted to change South Fifth Street to Stadium Boulevard. You realize how many vehicles the county has to change? You realize how many vendors we had to change? You realize how many tax parcels we had to change? You realize how many homestead acts we have to change?
Why did they ask for that then?
We did. John from SR came to us.
City did. Okay.
So, unfortunately now, and Eric came down to see me today, the titles, from what I understand, don't have to be changed. It's just the owner's card, you can go online and do that. The driver's license, you can go online and print that out and get that temporary thing. So when you get your new registration and your new license, you need to change it. Because I'm sure we've all bought cars and moved 10,000 times and never changed the address on the title. So,
But does that make that vehicle legal?
I don't
So
think it's illegal.
why wouldn't it be?
As long as you have your registration card changed, you're fine.
So the title can be registered wherever?
Because the title, you might buy a car when you get married or something, like a spouse, and if she has a different name with the title, when she gets married, she has to change the title. She just has to change her driver's license and her registration card when you renew. And there's no cost.
Yeah, and
I can
one thing
change
that
my
we've got to bring
driver's
up.
license and all without any fee?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
If
we-
there
I
is a
just
fee,
went
it's
online
a
with it, we'll
minimal
look
fee.
it up, Bill. That's how I feel confident saying that. But one thing that what Eric and Keith neglected to bring to our attention was, right now, if he would call for an emergency, he tells them his address is 721 Market Street. If somebody goes there, and can't find 271 Market Street, if somewhere down the line there's a lawsuit, the city can be named in that lawsuit because we didn't do anything to change it.
Okay, well,
That's the whole purpose of this 911 addressing, is to get everybody, like I said, on 4th Street, there was what, 3 or 4 of 1125 with the same address. So this is just to clean up, and unfortunately, Billy has 9 million vehicles. And but the county had to do that more than,
Yeah, but who paid that? I'm paying this out of my pocket. Who paid the county?
yeah, but a lot of that you can go online, there's no charge. Like your licenses,
I never went to the notary that I ever had anything changed and it was free, ever.
I'm saying, you can go online.
I think you're wrong, Dale, but I'm hearing you.
I have a question. If the county doesn't have it, and the 911 center doesn't have it on their map as Shamokin Street now, why is it not Shamokin Street now?
They couldn't-
I mean, if the name is.
Somebody from what I was told, they did Shamokin Street years ago, put up a sign and Hal Langer got
They can't get to
721.
Shamokin from there.
But the other thing about this is I've owned that property for 15 years. And that sign, Shamokin Street, I'm also on the board for the Housing Authority, and I know that 38 years ago, Scott Towers was built. And that street had to have been changed, somewhere along the line. It's on the map, Shamokin Street's not even there. There is a short Wolverton Street there, which I don't touch that either. Like you said, that's a barricade.
That's a parking lot now.
Yeah, it's a parking lot.
Doesn't
So,
Short Wolverton go past Gamers there?
Dean.
Five Deans.
Deans.
Well, it used to
That's
be
what's
Deans.
barricaded
Go
there
from
in
Chestnut
Washington.
Street up a little bit,
For
yeah.
that big-
It used to be
I've
Dean.
always known it as Smoking Street for
The Scat gas
the
station,
70s.
Scat gas station used to be on the corner, and then General Tire was next, and
Well, not that far back.
you don't remember that far back.
I think part of the problem, Mr. Shipman, to answer your question, is years ago, when we had dispatchers that remember 721 Market Street, that they would say, 721, and they dispatch right away, it's to the rear on Shamokin Street. We don't have dispatchers that know the areas anymore like they used to. We used to have dispatchers that just knew the areas. And just ask a professional, and if you do it online, there's no fee. If you go to a notary, it's over at, it's $5 a piece for each one. So if you do it online, it's free. But if you go to the thing, it's $5 a piece.
So I can leave them titles registered, even though there'll never be a 721 Market Street. That's gonna disappear. But I can have them titles registered there where there's no address. What?
Well,
Larry said it's
would
my
you want
right
to,
away.
would you want to have it called Shamokin Street again, your address?
No, but listen, here's something else I'd like to petition. Is this council and everybody interested in restoring historic things in the city of this town? So, why was it ever named Shamokin Street? How about the Horn Railroad went right down where that street is? Why was that?
Sunbury years ago was called Shamokin. That's why Shamokin Dam became Shamokin Dam.
But is Sunbury called Shamokin now? Okay. So the Horn Railroad was right down that street. Why wouldn't we preserve our history and name that street Horn, or Horn Railroad Street, or something to that effect? That's just
Somebody
something
named
to
it a
think
long
about.
time before any of us sitting up here had anything to do with it, that's for sure.
So, but this is just some suggestions.
City council has the authority to change that name of that street.
Well, it takes one street sign if the cost is a
Who else is
factor.
on that street, just you?
That's me.
He's the only one
And
on
it's
the
one
street.
block long. It runs from Market Street back to Court Street.
Are you asking us to change it to Horn?
His building.
Well, I would like to see that happen just for the history part of it. Not that I want that address, because I don't want to go through all the expense to change my
It's
bank
still gonna
accounts. and-
change though, he still has his problem, he has to change his stuff, no matter what we call it. He still has that problem.
I think he wants to be reimbursed his costs.
Yeah, can you reimburse me? I don't care. I
If
don't
you
do
don't have any
that.
costs, is there an issue anymore?
Pardon me?
If you don't have any costs, is there an issue anymore, is my question.
Well,
He just said, the chief just said that you didn't.
I still gotta go back to every vendor and tell them I'm no longer this address. I just bought 500 checks from the bank. They're all, all my envelopes are all, I went through all this with a lot of money expended when I moved into that building, that now I thought I was set for life. Hopefully, I think I'm gonna, and if I get too old to live there, I can go across the street. But whatever, I'm thinking I was set there. And now I'm going through all this aggravation.
You're the only person on that whole street.
I'm the only person.
Nobody lives
Well,
on
my
that
wife.
street.
We both live there. And a couple cats, other than that, no.
Bill, you want it Shamokin or Horn Railroad Street?
I think I'd like to see it Horn Railroad Street, because let's preserve our heritage with it. But I also made it known at one point that we got Lewisburg, we got Milton, we got, everybody around us is doing murals on buildings. I made it known at one time that if somebody wanted to open the side of my building and paint a locomotive on the side of it, the Horn Railroad locomotive, I'd be willing to open my building up for that to happen. Not at my expense, but I'd be willing
I'm
to.
missing something. If you change it to Horn, like Jim said, or whatever we changed it to, that costs you, I thought you're here because you don't want to change it.
I don't want, well, it's Shamokin Street. I don't want Shamokin Street address. I don't want
No,
Horn
your
Railroad
address is
Street address.
721 Market.
Yeah, I want 721
There's no
Market, so I don't have to all this aggravation. So now help me out. But if you,
He wants to keep it 721 Market.
Well, that makes more sense to me, at least I understand why he's arguing about that, but if you change it to Shamokin or change it to Horn.
well, it is already Shamokin. I don't want that.
Well, we can take a sign down and,
Can I do that?
Go back to
I'll do
721
that.
Market.
I know how to operate a screwdriver and a wrench. I can take that sign down and put it.
But the point is,
Listen, I'm not here to make this difficult, please, and I'm not.
the point is nice for history, but the simple fact is, there are people that do know it as Shamokin Street.
How many? There wasn't anybody here knew except a couple of you guys that should know because you're running the city. You don't know where it is, and you're running the city, you don't belong there.
Right.
Well, Bill, I like the Horn Railroad, let's put in your checks.
If it's named
Horn
Shamokin
Railroad
Street or
Street.
Horn
when
Yeah.
your checks, he's gonna have to
whatever,
order.
Yes.
what were your guys think of working?
Well, they know where Shamokin Street is.
Correct.
They do?
All of our guys, yeah. We ticket that every Monday,
Well.
every Wednesday night, Wednesday night.
For emergency purposes, why can't the 911 after they have the Market Street say also known as Smoking Street?
It don't work that way in the cat.
Doesn't it?
But I went to the,
Smoking Street will go to.
I went around with the 911 guy about this, and he told me if there's any changes to be made, like with the street or anything, now's the time to do it before the new maps are made.
Right, and actually, Sunbury's the first one to tackle this as a big project. That's why I said I would help do it since I'm doing streets anyway. Like I said, Billy, I know it's a lot of heartburn for you, but theoretically it's not, but there's other, listen, Fibers department store is gonna have to change theirs. I'm sure they get a lot more invoices than you do,
I'm sure they do.
you know.
But I don't
They're
make the
gonna be
money they
changing
make
theirs.
either, so I'm just a little independent guy trying to
Mike.
survive.
Yeah,
Michael, does that take an ordinance to change the name?
that would be a good start, and then we just have to have the 911 center comply with what we do.
In the post office, too.
Yeah, so it'll be an interesting battle
post
between
office, when we changed,
local, state, and county.
when we changed the name of Stadium Drive, we passed it as a resolution to council, that's it. Notified 911, and I checked all that out before we did it. Notified 911, notified the post office, it was a done deal. So we had the authority, and I talked to the county commissioners. County commissioners asked, do we have any say in this? They said, no, you really don't. They said, then do whatever you want. So we have the authority on a simple vote to change the name to anything we want.
On Railroad Street?
On Railroad Street, if you're gonna change it. I think, because listen, I mean, we think about preserving our history and our heritage here. Why not? Because it was there, you know? Now, I'll go on, I know you said you weren't around, but when I was a kid, we used to, where that one railroad, where them steam engines came down, we used to put pennies on them tracks and let the steam engines flatten them. That was before I went up to junior high school to
All right,
flatten.
name it whatever the.
Thank you, I'm at your guys' mercy, whatever. I just have to wait.
You confused me, that's for sure. I thought you came here to save money, now you want these guys to, you want us to change it anyway.
Are you keeping the same house, or is he keeping the same house number, 721?
No, that's.
No, it's
No,
gonna be a
that's
different
the
number.
thing.
Okay.
I think last.
Well, if I'm the only guy in that street, why do I have to have a
Because
different
it has to
number?
parallel with all the other numbers throughout the city.
If it's like between the 500 block and the 600 block, you can't make it.
Well, what's Scott
Because
Towers?
I tell you what screws it up, if you go out on Market Street, Bill,
What?
from Market, or from Shamokin Street to 8th Street, there's a couple of houses right on the other side of 8th Street that still have a 700 address. Theoretically, it should be an 800 address, because once it goes past 8th Street. That's just some of the stuff that they're finding.
Well, I owned a gas station for 17 years up in North 4th Street, and I was 1014, and the stores behind me were 925. So I was the only even number on the odd side of the street. And I'm the even guy.
That's why we're changing this.
Bill, we're trying to get enough money up for your house number, so let me know what the number is.
Well, what's my new number supposed to be?
I don't know.
One.
That's what I figured.
I don't know what street it is. Why is 911 calling it?
It's not even listed right now.
No.
They're gonna change it,
Listen,
so.
excuse me a minute. 911 guy told me that it's all up to you guys. Whatever you guys decide, they're fine with that. The guy you had told me, he said, he's out of it.
Since that street's a block long,
Yeah.
and you're the only property owner,